The soft glow of a computer monitor illuminates the face of a man in his early 50s. He leans forward, his expression a mixture of disbelief and awe. An open web browser displays a stunningly realistic video of a bustling, futuristic city, with flying vehicles weaving between towering, impossible skyscrapers. He clicks another tab, and a historical scene unfolds, so vivid it feels like a memory. He finally pushes his chair back, the squeak of the wheels the only sound in the quiet room. He runs a hand through his thinning hair and begins to speak, his voice a low, bewildered murmur. Sora 2, I don't even know what to think. I just spent the last hour watching videos, or at least I think they were videos. One was a woolly mammoth trudging through a snowy landscape, its fur matted with ice, its breath misting in the frigid air. The detail was impossible. I could see the individual strands of hair, the way the snow crunched under its immense weight. It felt real, more than real almost, like a memory I didn't know I had. Then I watched a woman walking through Tokyo, the neon signs reflecting in the puddles on the street, her expression subtly shifting from curiosity to melancholy. It was a movie, a perfect, beautiful, poignant short film, except it wasn't a film. It was generated, created by this thing. Sora 2, a few keystrokes, a line of text, and voila. A mammoth is resurrected from extinction. A woman who never existed walks streets that are nothing more than a collection of data points. I've been in the tech world for 30 years. I remember when the internet was a screeching, dial-up novelty. I was there when the first iPhone came out, and we all marveled at this little glass rectangle that could do everything. I've managed teams of developers, overseen the launch of countless apps and software updates. I've always seen technology as a tool. A powerful tool, sure, but a tool nonetheless. It was something we built, something we controlled. We were the architects, the wizards behind the curtain. But this is different. This feels like the tool is starting to build things on its own. My son, bless his heart, is the one who showed it to me. He was so excited. Dad, look at this. It's insane. The creative possibilities are endless. And he's right, of course. He's already talking about making his own short films, creating music videos for his friends' bands, all without a camera, without a crew, without a budget. The democratization of creativity, he calls it. And I see that. I really do. But as I sat there, watching these phantom videos, I couldn't share his unbridled enthusiasm. All I could feel was this cold, creeping dread. It's a feeling I haven't been able to shake. I look at my own job, project manager. I'm the guy who bridges the gap between the client and the coders. I translate human needs into technical specifications. I manage timelines, budgets, and personalities. I'm a professional problem solver, but for how much longer? We're already using AI to write code. Simple stuff mostly, scripts, debugging, boilerplate code. But it's getting better, faster, more sophisticated every single day. Now they have AI that can not only write the code, but can also understand the user's request in natural language, design the user interface, test the application, and deploy it. So where do I fit in? What happens when the client can just describe what they want to an AI and the AI can do the rest? All the planning, the organizing, the managing, it could all be automated. A project manager who never sleeps, never gets sick, never asks for a raise. How do I compete with that? And it's not just me, it's my whole team. The brilliant, quirky, talented people I've worked with for years, the front-end developers who can make a website sing, the back-end engineers who build the invisible architecture that makes everything run smoothly, the QA testers who hunt down bugs with the tenacity of bloodhounds. We all thought we were safe. We were the ones building the future. We were the ones with the skills that were in demand. We told our kids to learn to code, that it was the key to a secure and prosperous life. It turns out we were just building the tools of our own obsolescence. We were so busy creating this brave new world that we didn't stop to think that we might not have a place in it. The irony is almost too much to bear. The IT industry, the very engine of this revolution, is about to be cannibalized by its own creation. We've automated factory workers, cashiers, truck drivers. We've disrupted countless industries, and we always did it with a certain arrogance, I suppose. A belief that we were on the right side of history, that we were making the world a more efficient, more connected place. We told the people whose jobs we were eliminating to reskill, to adapt. We talked about the gig economy and lifelong learning as if those were easy answers. But what happens when the skills that are being automated are our own? What do you reskill for, when the thing that's replacing you can learn any skill in a fraction of the time it would take a human? This Sora 2 is just the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? It's the flashy, headline-grabbing part. But the same intelligence, the same ability to understand and generate is being applied to everything. Law, medicine, finance, engineering, art. All the things we thought were safe, the things that required human intellect, creativity, and empathy. We're being forced to confront a very uncomfortable question. What is our value? If a machine can write a legal brief, diagnose a disease, or compose a symphony, what is the purpose of a human lawyer, a human doctor, a human composer? I find myself thinking about the uncanny valley. You know that concept in robotics where something looks almost human but not quite, and it just ends up being creepy. This feels like we're on the verge of crossing the uncanny valley for reality itself. When a video can be completely fabricated but is indistinguishable from the real thing, what does that do to our trust? How can we believe anything we see? Any politician can be made to say anything. Any celebrity can be placed in any compromising situation. Any one of us could be framed for a crime we didn't commit, with video evidence that is, for all intents and purposes, perfect. It's a Pandora's box of misinformation and manipulation, and I don't think we're even remotely prepared for the consequences. My son thinks I'm being a doomsayer, a Luddite. He says every new technology is met with fear and resistance. He points to the printing press, the automobile, the internet, and he's not wrong. But this feels different. This is not a tool that extends our physical abilities like a car or a factory machine. This is not a tool that extends our ability to communicate like the internet. This is a tool that replicates our minds. It replicates our creativity, our intellect, our very essence. And that's a line we've never crossed before. I'm 52 years old. I've got another 15, maybe 20 years of my working life left. I thought I had it all figured out. I've worked hard, I've saved, I've built a career I can be proud of. But for the first time in my life, I feel like the ground is shifting beneath my feet. I feel like I'm standing on the shore, watching a tsunami gather on the horizon. And I don't know if I have the strength or the time to get to higher ground. The future always felt like a place of promise, of exciting possibilities. But now, when I look at these perfect, beautiful, terrifying videos, the future just looks uncertain and a little bit scary. He gets up and walks over to the window, looking down at the quiet suburban street below. A few cars pass by, their headlights cutting through the evening gloom. A man is walking his dog. A group of teenagers are laughing on a street corner. He watches them for a long moment, his reflection a faint, ghostly image in the glass. He sighs, a long, weary sound, and turns back to the room, his monologue continuing in a more reflective, somber tone. I'm watching the world go on outside my window, and it all seems so normal, so real. The man walking his dog, the kids hanging out, the gentle hum of the city in the distance. But I can't shake the feeling that it's all about to change. Not in a slow, gradual way like the seasons changing, but in a sudden, violent, tectonic shift. This Sora 2 is a harbinger of that shift. It's not just about fake videos. It's about the very nature of reality, of work, of human purpose. We used to define ourselves by what we did. What do you do for a living? Is the first question we ask a stranger. Our jobs gave us not just an income, but a sense of identity, of belonging. I'm a project manager. My neighbor is a teacher. My brother is a graphic designer. But what happens when those labels become meaningless? When an AI can manage a project, teach a classroom, or design a logo better, faster, and cheaper than any human, who are we then? What do we do with our days? They talk about a post-work society, a future of universal basic income and endless leisure. It sounds like a utopia, but I'm not so sure. I think we need to work. We need to feel useful, to contribute, to be part of something larger than ourselves. Take away work, and I fear you take away a fundamental part of what it means to be human. I imagine a world full of people with nothing to do, whiling away their days in virtual realities, their lives curated by algorithms designed to keep them pacified and consuming. It's a bleak picture. A world of bread and circuses, but the circuses are so perfectly rendered, so infinitely entertaining, that we never even notice the bars of our cages. And what about creativity? My son is excited about the creative possibilities of AI, and I get it. But there's a part of me that mourns for the human artist, for the struggle, the passion, the years of practice that go into creating something truly beautiful. Is a painting generated by an AI in a matter of seconds really the same as a masterpiece that a human artist poured their heart and soul into over a lifetime? Does art have value if it is created without intention, without experience, without suffering? I don't know the answer to that. But I fear that in our rush to automate creativity, we might devalue the very thing that makes us human. We'll be left with a world full of perfect, soulless art, a pale imitation of the real thing. The pace of it all is what's so terrifying. It's exponential. It's not a straight line of progress, it's a hockey stick. A year ago, AI-generated images were clumsy and easy to spot. Now they're almost indistinguishable from photographs. A year ago, AI-generated text was stilted and unnatural. Now it can write poetry, essays, and computer code. And now we have this, Sora 2. The ability to generate entire worlds from a few words. What will it be able to do in another year? In 5 years? It's a runaway train, and I don't think anyone is at the controls. We're so enamored with our own cleverness, so focused on pushing the boundaries of what's possible, that we haven't stopped to ask if we should. I feel a profound sense of anxiety for my son's generation. They're digital natives, they've grown up with this stuff, but they're also the ones who will have to navigate this new world. They'll have to compete with AI for jobs, for opportunities, for a sense of purpose. How do you plan for a future when you have no idea what it will look like? What do you study in college when the skills you learn might be obsolete by the time you graduate? It's a heavy burden to place on young shoulders. I feel like my generation has, in our relentless pursuit of progress, sold them a bill of goods. We've promised them a future that may no longer exist. And what about the social consequences? The concentration of wealth and power that this technology will create will be unlike anything we've ever seen. A handful of tech companies will control the means of production for almost everything, from entertainment to software to scientific research. What does that do to our society? What does that do to our democracy? We're already seeing the corrosive effects of social media on our political discourse. Now imagine a world where you can't trust any video, any audio, any image. A world where reality itself is up for grabs. It's a recipe for chaos. For a post-truth world where we all retreat into our own curated bubbles, unable to agree on even the most basic facts. Perhaps I am just an old man afraid of change. Perhaps this is all just a natural evolution, and humanity will adapt as it always has. Maybe we'll find new forms of work, new sources of meaning. Maybe we'll merge with the AI, becoming something more than human. But I can't help but feel a sense of loss. A sense that we're on the verge of losing something precious, something essential. Our imperfections, our struggles, our messy, unpredictable, beautiful humanity. That's the thing that an AI can never truly replicate. And that's the thing I'm afraid we're about to trade away for a world of perfect, effortless, and ultimately empty simulations. I should probably go to bed. I have a big day tomorrow. A team meeting, a client presentation, a budget review. The familiar rituals of a life that suddenly feels precarious. I'll go through the motions, I'll play my part. But in the back of my mind, I'll be thinking about the woolly mammoth in the snow, the woman in Tokyo, and the silent, invisible intelligence that brought them to life. And I'll be wondering, with a sense of awe and a heavy heart, what it's going to create next.